Alright, today we got Saints Row 2, released on October 14th, 2008. Oh yeah, happy Halloween by the way, or at least I hope this video drops way before that point. God, could you imagine if it did it?
Your last video was 2 months, 1 week, and 6 days ago.
For the second installment of the Saints Row franchise, we're going to be playing on a PC. I do have the Xbox 360 version, but it plays like it has a speech impediment. I don't know if it's because of my disc, my Xbox One, or something, but thank God I have a backup, which means I have no reason to play it on console. Oh god, I'm foreshadowing something. As you know, the first game was exclusive to the 360, and after it gained a mostly positive reception, the decision was made to drop the sequel on other platforms. The funny part about the reviews though, they often make comparisons to a certain video game franchise.
Nico, it's Roman. Let's go bowling.
This was the point where Saints Row was slapped with the infamous title of the GTA clone. In my last video, I decided not to bring it up because I didn't think it was worth talking about really, and I also forgot to, but I'll just say this. As far as Saints Row being a GTA clone, I could talk about how the stories are structured differently, the gameplay is similar but not the same, blah blah blah. Look, I don't really care, as long as the game is not awful then it's cool with me. Game developers like to put their own spin on whatever's working in the market. Remember when it felt like every video game had a battle royale mode? Call of Duty, Battlefield, Forza, for the love of Zeus, there's even a Tetris Battle Royale. If it works, it works. If not, then I'll probably make a video on it that will take me 4 months to finish. Now the PC version is a little special. You'll know what I mean when we get to the story. As far as childhood memories, I actually played it at my friend's house. See, they were able to get it despite the ESRB rating. When I tried to convince my mother to buy it, the GameStop employee was like, just so you know, this game has every degenerate act you could think of. Needless to say, my mother changed her mind. Stupid GameStop employee not letting children experience gratuitous violence and excessive swearing. But that's enough background information, now let's get into it. 5 years after the explosion, we see that the player is now in prison, and more importantly, also in a coma. Yeah, sure, whatever, this kind of shit is normal in the Saints Row franchise. This does give us the opportunity to do some plastic surgery on our character, and now we can make a female player. I'm sure nobody's gonna wonder how one of the most notorious gangbangers got caught in a blast that was so powerful, it turned him into a whole bitch. When the guards leave the room, we are introduced to Carlos, and he tells us that he has a plan to get us out. It's not really that intricate, you just shoot your way out and steal a boat. I'm just surprised that the prison guards didn't give up until we made it to Stillwater. Carlos tells us that things have, okay? Yeah, so things have changed in Stillwater since we took that mandatory vacation. The Third Street Saints pretty much fell apart, and now the city is overrun with pimps. Huh. No, seriously, as soon as I made it to the docks, a gaggle of them appeared as if they were holding the annual pimp convention there, and by God, that's a hell of a choice. I was going to comment on how these security guards / cops don't really give two shits that I'm in a prison jumpsuit, but this is way more important. Okay, I'm over it. We have more important things to worry about, like getting new clothes, appropriating a supercar, buying a drink, and saving our longtime friend Johnny Gat, in that order. Remember Troy from the first game? Well, it turns out that he was an undercover cop. Go figure. Gat responded by trying to smoke his pack, and he failed. Luckily, we are able to rescue him. I mean, if I could break out of a prison, then I could fight my way through a courthouse. Before we could plan shit out with Johnny, we have to get our respect up. More on that system later, but I can tell you that it's infinitely better than the one in the last game. Once we fill that bar up, we can finally get the Third Street Saints back on track. First, we need a new gang HQ. This place is occupied with homeless people, but no need to worry, we can just chuck them into their own shanties. After cleaning the place up a bit, Gat and the player come to the conclusion that
we can't really run a gang if we don't have, you know, a fucking gang.
So we're off to find some new recruits, lieutenants in particular. Makes sense since Lynn is dead, Troy's a cop, Dex fucked off somewhere, and Julius tried to assassinate me. Once we gain the trust of our recruits, we meet up at the HQ, and I guess it's time for another Third Street Saints roll call. First we have Carlos Mendoza. He was a dude who helped us escape prison. His brother was a member of the Saints and now he's following suit. He's a pretty loyal guy. I hope nothing bad happens to him. Next we have Pierce, the butt of everyone's jokes. He's pretty smart, but most of the time he's getting bitched by the rest of the Saints. Shawnee's another one of our lieutenants. She has a lot of connects because she can't close her coochie for the life of her. Seriously, a handful of our missions start with, hey, one of Shawnee's exes has some info on the enemy gangs.
Already got today's passcode from the blackjack dealer Shondi's fucking.
My ex called me and said he got some dirt for us.
I thought I killed your ex.
Different ex. Now come on.
My solution is to do more than wait around for one of the 600 guys Shondi used to fuck to give us a call.
There's a bunch of helicopters dropping cargo over Somdi territory.
How the hell you know that?
You all know who Johnny Gat is, and if you don't, he's a juggernaut who swears a lot. By a long shot, he is the most popular character in the Saints Row series, mainly because of this game. Another foreshadow. But he's not the leader of the 3rd Street Saints. That's right, we are officially the El Jefe. The player has now upgraded to the boss, and I will now be referring to her as such. Just like the last game, there are 3 gangs that we have to take out. The Brotherhood, the Ronin, and the Sons of Samdi. Wait, Samdi? Let's start with the Brotherhood.
Babe, just let it go.
Who the fuck do the Saints think they are turning me down?
Sweetie, it's not a big deal. Just kill him.
The Brotherhood can be simply described with a handful of words: tribal, tattoos, heavy metal, and trucks. They're led by Mero, a tall man sporting a Kentucky waterfall. Other key members include Jessica, Mero's girlfriend, Matt, the guitarist/tattoo artist, and Donnie, the guy from the last game. Carlos was assigned to watch the Brotherhood, and he was able to set up a meeting with Mero. I don't know where he got the time to do that. I thought he was too busy working on his telekinesis here. I think it's time to talk about the cutscenes. If you haven't noticed already, the cutscenes in this game are a little off. It's mainly the objects being out of sync with the characters. Sometimes it's barely noticeable, other times it's off-putting as hell.
Hey yo, what the fuck?
This is exclusive to the PC port of Saints Row 2. Now I know what you're thinking. There's a mod that not only fixes this issue, I think, it also adds a shit ton of content. But I want this to be a pure review, which means no mods, no matter how choppy this game gets. Hey there, so apparently the Gentleman of the Row mod does not resolve this issue, but there is a way to fix it. All you gotta do is limit your FPS, mess with the VSync, train, eat your vitamins, and say your prayers. I don't know. But I will not be counting this as a problem against the game because it's an old game, it's whatever, it happens, but I will be making fun of it as much as possible. Funny, I can run Apex and Overwatch 2 in acceptable settings, but this game will shit itself if there's more than 10 objects on the screen. Anyways, we meet Mero in a cave that's connected to a clothing store, and it sounds like we can make a deal with the Brotherhood. And after an obligatory gunfight, we discuss the details at their HQ.
So what's the offer?
2080.
I'm assuming I get the 80?
Yeah, sure you do.
You really expect me to take 20 and say thanks?
On your hands and fucking knees.
So the deal fell through, and now we gotta mess with their shit. Thank God Donnie's still a bitch, because we can use him to blow up their trucks. Somehow Mero chose not to unalive him. I'm sure this is gonna bite him in the ass later. Our next plan in sabotaging the Brotherhood consists of stealing some radioactive waste and doing a little switcheroo with the tattoo ink so Mero can channel his inner Two-Face. I was going to ask how much time he has left before he dies of cancer, but I'm sure he's gonna meet his demise way before that point. Before we can mess with these assholes again, we get a phone call from Jessica on Carlos's phone. Oh no. He got kidnapped after the last mission, and now we have to rescue him. If only there was a way to track him down. Oh hi Donnie. Bye Donnie. God, Mero should have killed you when he had the chance. When we catch up to Carlos, we find out that these assholes are dragging him behind a pickup truck. Thank God I'm driving around in a Hummer that's fitted with a machine gun turret. Wait, how the hell did I even get this vehicle? Unfortunately, Carlos didn't make it. I have to say, this has to be in the top 5 best Saints Row cutscenes. Hell, I'm a heartless bastard, and even I could admit that this is pretty sad. He was the guy who helped us escape prison, and we were just learning more about him. Surely the Brotherhood must pay for this, and well, guess who's about to get their lick back? Shaundi notifies the boss that Jessica is at the Stillwater Bank, and the first time I played this, I thought we were just gonna pull up and paint her house. No, you'll fail the mission if you do that. What you have to do is take her house. Oh my god, the boss is a big body bitch. Do you see the size difference? Get this bitch on a basketball team. Anyways, we stuff her into the trunk of her own car, drive her to the Ultor Dome, and set her car up to be crushed by Marrow. Then the boss walks up, tells Marrow that you ain't gonna kill me. As a matter of fact, how about you pop the trunk real quick? That is some gangster shit. If there's any doubt that the boss radiates Black Air Force One energy, this is the rebuttal. She could have just shot her and called it a day, but no. She was like, this is your body, and walked away knowing ain't nobody gonna touch her. And she was right. An incredible sequence of events that is completely ruined by the shitty PC cutscene mapping. Marrow is trying his hardest to phase through his monster truck. We even get to see it from multiple angles. And then he uses a stand user to catch the keys. I have no words. After beating the bricks out of Matt, we're introduced to Dane Vogel. He's sliding for some reason, but we're just gonna power through it. He's the head honcho or high-ranking figure in Ultor, the
largest
corporation in Stillwater. Marrow barges into his office and asks, well, forces him to help the Brotherhood clap the Saints. Dane calls up the chief of police, Troy, who aged like 10 years in between games, and finesses him into freeing up all the Brotherhood members. It didn't work because we know how to blow up vehicles. Marrow returns to the office, but Dane bitches him. I'm sensing a pecking order here. Am I gonna have to shoot this guy too? Which reminds me, we gotta take out Marrow. So we raid his spot and clear it out. Once we get to the rooftop, we find him shooting the shit out of the concrete, just laying it down. For a human being, he's quite durable in the taking rifle bullets to the nipple department, but eventually we take him down. And that's it. Marrow's dead. No, not really. It triggered a cutscene. You know what? I'm starting to like this version of Saints Row 2. Marrow runs all the way to the Ultor Dome and sets up some sort of monster truck Mad Max handicap match. I gotta say, A+ for creativity.
Go to hell.
With the big tribal asshole taken out, the Brotherhood are no more, so let's move on to the Samdi.
Gentlemen, how was business today?
Here's today's take.
There are many singles where 50 should be.
The Sons of Samdi are a Jamaican, Jamaican, Caribbean gang that does Brazilian capoeira. Okay. They make their money by selling drugs. The three key members are Veteran Child, a lieutenant that's also a DJ, Mr. Sunshine, the second in command with a bachelor's degree in voodoo, and the General, the leader of the Samdi. Our plan is straightforward: sabotage their drug ring and clap anybody who gets in the way. I did some mining off screen and got some automatic pistols and unlimited ammo to make the process a little easier. After we stole, flipped, and destroyed their production of light bulb, crack rock, weed drug, the General and Mr. Sunshine run up on Veteran Child and ask him, hey, what are the chances that you smashed the pothead with the dreadlocks who's now running with the Saints? And judging by how a strong 70% of our intel is from Shondi's ex-boyfriends, I'm sure we're gonna get a visit from this asshole, but he's just not gonna walk into our headquarters and kidnap her with little to no resistance from my gang. Oh my god, the scripting. Okay, where the hell are my subordinates? Was there like a field trip to the nearest strip club? Thank god the boss showed up with her ghost gun. It also looks like Veteran Child ate his Wheaties because these bullets aren't hitting right. After going back to our terroristic roots by burning down an entire neighborhood, the General invites us to his limo. Top 10 cutscenes, by the way. Okay, never mind. We find out that Mr. Sunshine is hiding in a meatpacking plant, which means this is our chance to kill him. He has literal voodoo powers, but he's vulnerable to rifle shots. You know, this was infinitely easier than a Veteran Child fight. Maybe he should expect some damn armor. And that leaves us with the General. We catch him slipping by the mall, but he has Tanya invincibility frames, with the speed of James Franklin. When we enter the mall, the General attacks us with a Hummer that's fitted with a... Wait a second here, did he steal that shit from us? Whatever, he's dead. The Sons of Samdi are no more. Let's move on to the Ronin.
このカジノの権利権は、悪事さんはちょっと。
Junichi, you need to relax.
悪事さんから隠すのは無理なのでは。
My father won't find out about the casino.
そんなに甘くはないです。
Don't question me, Junichi. And we're in America. Speak English.
The Ronin are a Japanese gang that focuses on casino shit and prostitution. They drive motorcycles and swing katanas. The key characters are Junichi, the second in command, Shogo, the Stillwater leader, and Kazuyo, the actual leader and the father of Shogo. Our first mission involves us robbing a casino. After we take the money, we're told that we have to launder it. Shogo does not take it well, and he tells Jinchuriki to handle his light work, and he got busy. First he ties up Aisha, and then he sets up a trap for the boss and Johnny Gat. Before Aisha could warn us, Jeep Cherokee slices her head off.
Johnny, it's a...
Such a shocking moment in the game, and with the flowers falling on the floor, it looked like it was straight out of a John Woo film. Okay, the sword was floating, but still. Okay, here's a better version. You happy now? We were able to make quick work of the putty patrol, but the boss's dumbass distracts Gat and gets him stabbed.
Gat, get out of the way!
Now we have to rush him to the hospital. Despite crippling the Third Street Saints, Kazuya is disappointed in Shogo. Even Jin hates him. Shogo responds by doxing the second in command. When the boss shows up, we're challenged to a good old-fashioned sword fight. I won, but I'm gonna be real with you, as soon as I see Ronin jobbers trying to jump me, I would've pulled out a gun. After that mission, we visit Gat in the hospital, and of course the inevitable happens. The Ronin try to finish what they started. We try to escape through the front entrance, but the developers didn't want to animate a stretcher going down the stairs, so we have to take the helicopter. I'm sure one of our Saints homies has a medical degree. I hope. Dane Vogel makes another appearance to reinforce the fact that he's gonna be the big bad guy that we have to take out at the end of the game. Shogo is still trying to gain the respect of his father, but he's like, you bring this honor to our family. The amount of restraint that I have to not say that with a Japanese accent, you should be grateful. Shogo decides to crash Aisha's funeral, and we repay this kind gesture by burying him alive. Damn, I bet Kakuzu's gonna hate that. Oh, wait, never mind, he never really liked him. Either way, we have to take him out. We travel to the docks for another sword fight. When we reach the final ship, we see that Wong has already beat us to the punch. Oh my goodness, is he okay? I think he's dead. He ragdolled, he's gotta be dead. Well, now I gotta avenge him. As a side note, I love how there's a Ronin member downstairs so I can't hide. Kaguya pits up a good fight, but he's no match for a gun. And it turns out that Wong is okay. I guess he just got up and walked away. Anyways, with all three gangs taken care of, the Third Street Saints are now running Stillwater. Or so we thought. Check it, you remember that guy Dane and how he runs Ultor and shit? Well, he tries to capitalize on the gang violence by purchasing the land and gentrifying it. Their plan can't really work with the Saints being out and about, which means they need to be taken care of. Their efforts were in vain. They couldn't even kill off one of the named members. All the other gangs were able to do that, I mean, except for the Samdi, but the Samdi were cool, so it balances out. At this point, we're dealing with a different beast. Not only are we going up against the Stillwater police force, but we're also beefing with the Masako army. Okay, fast forward. Trust me, you're not missing out on anything. The boss shoots Dane Vogel in the face. And that's the end of Saints Row 2, on the PC port at least. There are two DLC packs that were released, Ultor Exposed and Corporate Warfare. Just one little problem though. They weren't released on PC. Lovely. For the sake of covering all my bases, I'll take a look at the DLC on Xbox. The first story pack that was released was Ultor Exposed. We meet up with Tara Patrick, and if you know who that is, then you might be an adult film connoisseur. Get some fucking help. She asked us to aid her in exposing Ultor for their crimes against humanity. We were unsuccessful in the end. Absolutely nothing meaningful happens in this DLC story-wise, and I know, it's DLC, but they could have at least had Tara succeed. Succeed. It's not like they needed to keep Ultor strong. Did they really think that ending the story with, oh don't worry, I'll get my revenge, was the best idea? Especially in retrospect, because after this, we never see Tara again, unless you're on the hub. Okay, I'll stop. As for the mission quality itself, these are, without a shadow of a doubt, some of the most difficult missions in the Saints Row franchise. The first mission isn't so bad. You're supposed to collect zombie corpses. You know, nothing to see here, just a guy driving around with a bunch of bodies in the bed of my trunk. When I got to the last body, I was greeted by a cavalry of guards. I still finished on my first try, but it made me really suspicious. And lo and behold, the second mission. At first, it looks like your average run-of-the-mill objective, but then it turns into a turret section. A turret section section that will kick your ass up and down the highway. Although I forgot that this gun had a grenade launcher, kind of essential, but it was mainly because of the new enemy type, the EDF Scout. These vehicles are thick as hell, with bulletproof windows and fitted with rockets. Like, what is the meaning of this? Do you know how annoying it is to hit these demonic entities whilst my professional ball tickler driver is whipping the truck back and forth like a game of Wii Sports Tennis? Speaking of the driver, let's watch a highlight reel of her best lines.
Ultor handed them money.
Couldn't you force Valderrama to do something? If they want proof, our best bet is to get our hands on the chemicals while Ultor is moving them. All right, get in the back and cover us. Ultor isn't gonna like losing a shipment. They sent the Scout prototype? Wow.
Scout prototype? What the hell are you talking about?
It's Eric Griffin's pet project. He wanted an ATV to scout for prime mining locations. Hey, you gotta blast through rock. Makes sense to me.
Where the hell are you people planning on mining?
Trust me, you wouldn't believe me if I told you. Why did you do that? I thought you were going to help us. You just humiliated me in public. Don't worry, I will.
And the Oscar goes to...
Tara fucking Patrick.
Genuine question, is it really that hard to voice act? I've seen better voiceovers for my Mirror's Edge review. The craziest part about this mission is that I only passed it because my carcass made it to the checkpoint. Now fuck that, the actual craziest part is that these EDP scouts never show up again. You just beat the brakes off of me like I'm Charles Sumner and then leave never to be seen again. Unbelievable. The last mission involves you shooting at APCs and blowing up helicopters. Apparently Ultor was able to splurge on niggas seeking rockets. Totally wished I stocked up on my own rockets beforehand. But like I said before, Tara was not able to expose Ultor in the end. Maybe admitting your crimes to a news reporter was not the best idea. Then again, this whole plan was stupid. Like, the best case scenario is her going to jail because, you know, dead bodies. Actually, I'm failing to understand why they decided to go with this kind of story in the first place. The adventures of a former scientist trying to get a revenge on an evil corporation seems a little extra. I know, a spicy star portraying a microbiologist instead of a call girl or mistress is funny / goes against expectations. I don't know. But there are only 3 missions in this hoe. There's not enough time to explore the story arc. And imagine if Tara Patrick was a good voice actress, I'd probably say that this character was wasted on such a meaningless story. Their CEO, president, manager, whatever was shot in the mouth by the time this DLC was released. Yeah, you can just play these missions as soon as you get the gang up and running, but either way, you can just have some other high-ranking Ultor member that we had to take out at the end of the DLC. On the bright side, at least we get some new vehicles and clothing. I didn't feel like checking most of it out during my session, so here are some wiki photos. Cool, let's move on to the next DLC pack. Corporate Warfare was released on September, who gives a fuck. We were given the opportunity to hand Dex his long-awaited fade. For those who don't know, Dex is a former member of the 3rd Street Saints, and after the main story is completed, it's revealed that he conspired with the former leader, Julius, to take care of the player. In the secret mission, we read Julius's last rites, although I could have sworn I had already finished this on my Xbox playthrough, but whatever. After we complete this mission, we can start the DLC story. The first task we have to do is escort this fat guy who works at Ultor. He plays an integral role to the story, but who gives a shit? Definitely not me. On the second mission, said fat guy suggests that we mess with Dex's plans by driving a truck around and flying a helicopter. I'm sure I'm lacking the specifics, but it's not that important. I will, however, emphasize that this shit is way too damn hard. Just look at the amount of enemies on the screen. Both me and my Xbox were getting our asses whooped. I guess if you're a Saints Row fan who's looking for a challenge, then this kind of stuff is up your alley, although I don't know what normal human being likes playing escort missions. When we get the last truck to the docks, Dex is like, well then, bye. And that's it. He's gone before the last mission even starts.
The fuck you mean, he's gone?
Right? We don't even get to see Dex in person as the boss. We just get like one phone conversation and that's it. Now, let's not even look at this retrospectively, because don't worry, we'll get there. But the fact that the only character that we cared about just chucked the deuces and hit the Undertaker out of nowhere just feels like a middle finger from Volition. But there's still one last mission, and when it starts, we're given a list of people to take out with a sniper rifle because we want to make Dex suffer. Targets include a mime, a jogger, a jet ski rider, a ninja who teleports and gives you that Nagato treatment, and much more. This is what I like to call an what the hell mission, where nothing really matters anymore. So here's some teleporting enemies, a pirate that rains orbital bombs onto you, a nigga riding a real mini bike, and a partridge in a pear tree. Do these guys have any connection with Dex whatsoever? Who gives a shit? This is a DLC and nothing matters. Our cutscenes have the same quality as the ones in the activities. Shut up and take the unlimited supply of explosive ammo, you malcontent. I guess this means that Volition has has bigger plans for Dex. Surely they wouldn't East Bay dunk their build-up in a trash can later down the line. Regardless, the story in both of these packs are a pair of buffalo ass. All they had to do was give us at least one good ending. Was it really that difficult? Knowing Volition, it could have been a convoluted way of messing with us. The story of Saints Row 2 does a great job expanding on what they had in the first game. I think the Volition boys did a great job turning the artist formerly known as Playa into a complete psychopath. I mean, it was the most logical progression. The amount of shit that the boss has been through in the first game would make the average person a tad bit paranoid. The new characters on the 3rd Street Saints are okay. Shaundi fits well as a stoner chick, and Pierce has a bunch of funny moments, like him singing some Neo. He's still considered the bitch of the group, but it's not like he's a one-trick pony. He tries to prove to the boss that he should be held to a higher regard, but ends up being shafted by Shaundi. Johnny Gat is, well, Johnny Gat. All he has to do is do cool shit and be a smartass. The only character that I have a problem with is Carlos. It's more of an issue with how they handled him in the story. Let me nitpick for a second here. The dynamic between him and the boss was fine, a mentor and mentee relationship. Even his death scene succeeded in hitting you in the feels. But after getting your revenge, that's it. He's never mentioned again. I think the least they could have done is have the boss do a speech and name drop Carlos as one of the casualties, like Julius did in Saints Row 1 with Lynn. I know, I'm reaching a little bit, but I do think it's an issue worth pointing out, like he barely got enough screen time because of how the missions are structured. Both Pierce and Shaundi are able to hop from one gang story to another because nothing bad happens to them, well, long term. Shaundi does get kidnapped, but it's easily settled within the same mission. Another example of this is how Gat only appears in the Ronin gang missions because he gets put out of commission, which kinda sucks because we don't get to see him interact with the Brotherhood or the Sons of Samdi, but at least he gets his time to shine in the Ultor missions. Plus, it would probably be a nightmare to try to include Gat and Carlos in other missions when they're a part of key plot points. Huh, that's the only negative I have towards the game. Crazy. Back on the positive side, the activities in this game are handled better. Throw grammar out the window, more better than in Saints Row 1. There's the returning activities like the Demolition Derby, drug trafficking, escort, insurance fraud, mayhem, racing, snatch, hitman, butt cooler, and chop shop. But there's also new ones like crowd control where you protect celebrities from their crazy ass fans by revoking their license to live. Fuzz, where you unalive people as cops. I'm not even gonna touch that social commentary. Heli assault, where you, okay. Heli assault, where you... Okay, never mind. Septic Avenger, where you try to make the neighborhood smell like Skid Row LA, or just LA to be honest. There's Trailblazing, where you drive around and commit arson. And last we have Fight Club, my favorite one out of all of them. Ever want to beat a man near death with a TV? These activities usually last for about 5 minutes or less, and there's only 6 levels, which is perfect, because trying to finish level 8 of drug trafficking on Saints Row 1 was extremely painful. Best of all, the rewards are super worth it. Special weapons, unlimited ammo, unlimited sprint, unique vehicles, new homies, etc, etc. Yeah, Saints Row 1 had some great rewards, but who the hell wants to willingly suffer through the old Hitman missions? There's also a boatload of diversions that reward you with cash, unlockables, and respect. And speaking of respect, the system in this game is way better than the old one, mainly because at an early point, it no longer matters. Not only can you do activities on diversions to gain respect, but you could also do shit like drifting, getting headshots, throwing people, driving in oncoming traffic, the list goes on. The days of, hold on a minute player, you need more respect before you could play this mission every 10 minutes are way behind us. As far as the rest of the positives I have for this game, they can all be simply described as depth. Oh my, the depth. The character customization, a lot of depth. The clothing customization, a lot of depth. The vehicle customization, a lot of depth. The crib customization, are you sensing a pattern here? You can get a fresh cut and a new fighting style from your plastic surgeon, hop in your muscle car fitted with kneecappers, nitrous boost your way to a pimped out crib, and put on your favorite Lesbo suit. Magnificent. The Stillwater map itself has also received a major upgrade. The guys at Volition improved it and turned it into one of the greatest maps in video game history. And don't even get me started on the music, the Easter eggs, the modding community. Look, if for whatever reason you've never played Saints Row 2, get it on PC and download the Gentlemen of the Row mod. Then see if you can fix the cutscenes. I know it seems like a problem that the developers should have dealt with, but hey, celebi. At least this way you don't have to deal with the fuckery that is a DLC story. And that's all I have to say about Saints Row 2. I'll see you in 3 years when I finally finish the Saints Row the 3rd video.